Welcome everyone to another episode of the world's greatest news and reviews. Your boy Captain Mal here, and today I am joined with
T Crawler.
Oh shit, T Crawler.
AKA Lonnie T, AKA LTZ, AKA T-Bone Capone. I think that's how.
T-Bone Capone?
I think that's how Weapon 2
Are you just trying to make a bunch of different names?
Weapon
2?
Yeah, that's all.
Well, I am the one and the only Captain Mal.
Just T Crawler.
Yeah, that's fine. Alright. So today, we are going to talk about the CW Berlantiverse, Arrowverse crossover, Elseworlds. Elseworlds Part 1 just aired. We just got done watching it. We have a lot to talk about.
Oh my god.
So if you follow the Arrowverse, the Berlantiverse, you know it's about 4 different CW DC shows, and every year they do a big crossover, and every year it gets better and better and better. Yeah. And this year it's kicked off with Elseworlds. And Lonnie, what are your initial thoughts? What do you think?
You never know. You know, because of the other crossovers, you know it's going to be good. Yeah. But you never think that they're going to one up the other crossover they did. And this one was, I mean, we're laughing, and this is like entertaining, and they totally do it for the fans. Mm-hmm. I mean, there's so many nerdgasms that happen. I mean, when we watch the show, it's freaking ridiculous. I mean, they mention things that people that are just immersed in this type of like comic book genre, I would say, they catch, and they freaking like, we're looking at you like, oh my god, you know. So, it was freaking excellent. I don't even know where to start.
What is it called? It's like a love letter to the fans, right? Like seriously, the Berlantiverse in general, the Arrowverse, they threw so many like references and throwbacks and just little tiny things that only like hardcore comic book fans are gonna notice. They do it, and you just lose your shit. Just little things, and the crossovers specifically, it's total fan service. That's the word. Fan service. And the show is so meta. It's so meta. They're this close to just looking at the camera and being like, they're all like just about walk up to. But so this episode opens with Barry and spoilers. Spoiler alert.
Spoiler.
It opens with Barry and Oliver Queen switching bodies. And we must have laughed more in the first fight, like had to pause it laughing. Yeah. And that's one thing that the Arrowverse does very well. Say what you will, Weapon 2 is not a big fan. I don't know how much of it he's seen. He hasn't even watched any of it.
It, so.
But you can talk a lot of shit about the Arrowverse, Arrow specifically. You really can. But the thing that it nails is it's fun. It nails fun. It really, you feel like a little kid watching this shit,
for sure.
Right?
Yeah.
And just watching them switch bodies and watching the fish out of water shit, and Oliver all of a sudden has a super speed, and Barry all of a sudden knows how to fight.
Right. And then, you know, it's one person in the other person's body, but it's not just like a freaky fighting. Like they mentioned Quantum Leap. It's like
just little shit.
They mention these things, and Quantum Leap, for those that don't know, was a sci-fi show back in the 90s,
early 90s. Yeah.
Anyway, it was you know, Barry looked like Oliver, but he had Barry's Barry looked like Oliver, and Barry had the Green Arrow stuff. Yeah. And then Oliver looked like Barry. No, Oliver looked like Oliver.
Well, they looked they looked like themselves,
but they had the other person's stuff.
They had the other person's skill set and powers, and everyone thought they were them. So Oliver still looked like Oliver, but everyone's like, "Oh, hey, Barry," and he didn't have the scars, didn't have all that, and he had the super speed.
Yeah, that's right. Okay.
And Barry, all of a sudden, still looks like Barry, but he's Oliver, has all the scars, and knows how to fight and all this kind of shit. Right. And it was really crazy to watch.
Yeah, it was just crazy. But then it's so cool because you get to see like the little things in there that you don't think about. Like the scene where Iris gives Oliver, who is Barry, the ring, you know, and then he like puts it out there, and the suit comes out, and he freaking runs into the suit, and he's suited up, right? And then later on, you see Barry with John.
Gives him the Green Arrow.
Yeah, he gives him the suit. He says, "Suit up." He's like, How do I do it? Do I need help with this? Yeah. Like, I don't know.
And just little things like, so all of a sudden, immediately there's like an incident that Oliver as Barry has to respond to as the Flash. And they're like, "Oh, well, just do this." He's like, "Okay." And he starts running super fast, throws all this lightning, and as it's happening, I'm like, "Oh, well, that's a bit overkill." And literally, he breaks everything, and Cisco's like, "Well, that was a little overkill." And it's like, if
you look at each other like,
called it. If you're not used to those kind of powers, you're not gonna know what the fuck you're doing.
Yeah. Same thing. He even overran the place.
Yeah, he overshot it. And the same thing with Barry being Oliver. Like, he doesn't know how to fight. He's just like whipping all these dudes' asses. He's like, "What the fuck?" And it was insane. It was funny. And so it was hilarious because then they get together and they're trying to figure shit out, and they're like, Team Flash throws them in their little Flash jail, which they finally answered that there's toilets in there.
Right.
After 5 fucking years, I'm like, where are these guys?
Because if you look at these cells, it looks like just a huge padded room with no sink, no toilet or anything.
Yeah.
So they're both in there, and Oliver's like, you know what? I was just in prison, and every day that I was in there got worse. But at least we had toilets. Yeah. And then Barry kicks the freaking wall, and a toilet comes out.
This is how you can tell they listen to their fans, because that has to be a chief complaint. But so anyway, like Oliver teaches Barry how to dislocate his thumb, and Barry teaches Oliver how to phase, but as they're doing this, they're like talking shit to each other and like laughing about it, and I was just like, I paused and I'm like, if we were like superheroes and switched bodies,
that would be
this is totally us.
For real, like totally.
Like, yeah, it was fucking, and that's why these shows are fun. It feels like fans made this, and it's just fans having fun. So anyway, they figure out that, hey, they need to get somebody who's going to identify both of them, so they end up going to Earth 38 to find Supergirl.
Right.
And this is where I freaked the fuck out, because then they cut to the Kent farm, and then they play the opening theme song to Smallville. And this is why this show is so fucking meta. Smallville and Smallville's universe does not tie into this, but they're in Smallville, they're at the farm, they play the fucking Smallville song. I lose my fucking shit, because again, deep cuts. Like, you don't need this shit. This is like the...
And I'm sitting there like, okay, this is cool. It's still cool. I'm liking the show. And he loses it.
I'm freaking the fuck out.
Okay, this must be, like, significant here. And he's like, this is a small film song.
Like, just little things like that.
All right,
Little things like casting John Wesley Sip, however the fuck you say it.
Right,
the Flash from the 90s as Barry's dad, and the Jay
90.
Garrick, and now Earth 90 Flash full on, and the Flash fucking costume from the 90s. And then you noticed this that I didn't, because I didn't watch that show. The little stinger... The preview of last week's episodes where it shows the build-up to Elseworlds, it shows him in the costume, and he runs towards the camera, and it plays the theme song to the fucking...
90s show. From the show from the 90s.
And that's like, shit like that, like, it's fan service.
Oh, man.
Like, little things like that get you excited. There was a moment in the Invasion crossover, for example, of, like, the meta-ness. So Brandon Routh plays the Atom on Arrow and DC's Legends of Tomorrow, right? As you guys know, he played Superman in 2006, Superman Returns. He meets Supergirl, right, in the DC Berlanti Arrowverse. And as she walks away, she's like, you know, she really reminds me of my cousin. Supergirl and Superman are cousins. And it's just like a throwback to the fact that he was in that movie. It's just one, it's like,
but
I don't know, it's
even in Arrow, though, we're going to digress a little bit, even in Arrow, when Felicity was dating him, and he's flying his Atom suit, he's like, look, it's Cisco when those guys...
Yeah, like, it's a bird,
it's a plane, and he's like, he kept forgetting how to land, so he hits a building, he's hitting another building. It's like, she's like, no, it's my boyfriend, but just the bird, it's a plane, I mean, it makes...
They're making a reference to him being Superman.
So, okay, so back to Elseworlds.
Yeah.
So, we were talking about Smallville. Okay, so not just Kara Danvers, we have Clark. Clark is there with Lois Lane.
They introduced Lois Lane finally.
He mentioned that the person they have is Lois Lane.
She looks like a young Terry Hatcher.
Right, so...
Go back to Lewis and Clark, son.
So now, they all agree to go back...
Hang on. Funniest fucking thing that we both noticed. So all of a sudden, Barry and fucking Oliver show up, and they meet fucking Superman for the first time. She's like, oh, this is my cousin Clark. Oliver's just like pumps the shit. I pause it, we both lose it laughing. And we're just like, oh my god, did he just pump himself up? Like, what the fuck?
And then Barry, a few seconds
later, we don't pause it.
He's like, dude, why are you pumping up your chest?
He's just like, are you pumping out your chest? And he's just like, yes. It was the funniest fucking thing.
Oh my god, it was hilarious. This episode was awesome. And this is just part one.
It's part one. Okay, so then we're at the Kent farm. So, fucking Amazo fucking attacks on Earth 1.
Yeah, on Earth 1.
And he's stealing meta powers. So all of a sudden now we got Arrow kinda, we got Flash kinda, Superman, Supergirl going to go fight Amazo.
Gosh, so
how fucking cool is that?
Pretty much have a Justice League right here.
Yeah, you're like, because our going joke with the Arrowverse shows is we call it discount Justice League or discount this, just because they can't use like the real Justice League.
Arrow gets brooding, like it's discount Batman.
Discount Batman, and shit like that. But all of a sudden, Cisco's like, oh, who are you? And he's like, oh, I'm a friend. Opens up the shirt, fucking ass. I'm like, it's not even discount. This is a fucking Justice League. Like, this is...
You have Superman there. You have Green Arrow, who is part of the Justice League. You have
Flash, who's a founding member and has his car.
Yeah. It's just crazy.
The fuck yeah, just give us the Justice League, but I don't even care anymore. Like, this is cool.
You know what? Honestly, just let Berlanti take over the DC EU, whatever they want to call it, just take over.
Or just say fuck it and let him do what he wants. Because you know he would want a Batman and he would want to do all that. I mean, we're going to Gotham.
CW might as well be DC.
It might as well.
Because,
who cares?
Because you have so many things on CW that are DC. You have Green Arrow, you have Flash, you have Black Lightning, you have
DC's Legends.
DC's Legends. I think Batwoman's going to come to this CW. So you have all these.
Fuck it, just do it.
Jeez.
So spoilers, they beat Amazo. They still don't know how to. They didn't switch bodies, and all of a sudden they're like, "Fuck it, I think we know where we need to go." And it cuts to Gotham and Batwoman on top of a building. So they're going to Gotham. They're going to see Batwoman.
Hold on, back up. When they looked at the video, or no, they Vibe. Vibe was showing them the person he saw, and then when they came out of it, Flash, who was Oliver, sketched out what he saw real quick, and he's like, and showed it to Karen. Said, I don't know who that is. And he was like, it's not him. I know what this is. And he points to the building that says Wayne
Tower.
We're like, oh my god,
Wayne Tower.
So.
And so then they show the preview for next week, and they actually say that's not Bruce Wayne, or they say that's not Batman. First time they've ever acknowledged that.
Yeah, it. Oh my god, it's.
And so here's the deal.
I'm just nerding out right
now. I'm nerding all over my face, neck, and chest. So here's the deal. They take away Deathstroke and they take away Deadshot from Arrow because they're going to be in the movies, they can't be in it. So all the characters that were going to be in the DC movies, you can't have in the Arrowverse, and they abide by that. Except for you have the fucking Flash has his own TV show, and then you get Superman,
who's on Supergirl. I mean, I watch Supergirl I don't keep up with it like I do Flash and Arrow. I usually wait and watch it on Netflix. But when Superman was introduced, he was there for a couple episodes at the beginning of the season.
Yeah, I watched those.
2, I believe.
Yeah.
And it was, it's a different type of Superman, but if you can get your...
If you can wrap your head around the Flash being different...
Right, you can accept who it is. And it doesn't show the big muscle-bound Superman. I think it more focuses on his charisma as Clark Kent.
No, because he's very charismatic. Right. Like, the first episode where, he jumps in front of the kids... this is on Supergirl a couple years ago, and he protects them from getting hit by bullets, and then he laser beams the fucking robots, and then he turns to the kids and winks at them. That's totally Superman. That's so Superman, right?
Yeah.
But who cares? In the Arrowverse, just give me everything. Give me Batman. Give me fucking all the Justice League. I'll totally watch it. It'll be fun. But this episode was fun, right?
Yeah, it was really
super exciting.
Laughed a lot. I mean, we were just we paused it several times, and we looked at each other oh my god, it's part 1.
Part 1. We got 2 more parts to go. Yeah. We were just gonna do a video after all 3 of them and do an Elseworlds crossover. We couldn't wait. We were literally.
We didn't want you guys to wait.
We didn't want you to wait.
No,
we want to get us out now.
Exactly.
Because this was an awesome episode.
Nice.
It was fun. Kicked it out. It didn't even answer a lot of Elseworlds questions.
No, it
didn't really do a lot. It was fun. Total fan service.
Yeah, for real.
I'm excited for the next episode. Are you excited for the next episode?
Excited. Oh yeah.
Hey, if you haven't watched it, you should watch Elseworlds. You should watch the Arrowverse. You should catch up on it all. Because it is nerdgasm fucking central. It is freaking amazing. Crazy. It's not without its flaws though. There's gonna be some haters. Yeah. Weapon too. I'm looking at you.
One more quick thing.
Yeah.
So we're watching this nerding out, right? So I have to bring up what we were talking about. So we talked about there's a part where the elongated man punches Oliver.
This is how stupid we are. This is how stupid we are.
Yeah, this is ridiculous.
He punches
him. And he just catches his punch and gets knocked out. We're like, that wouldn't happen to Oliver, whatever. But we're okay with a uniform coming out of a ring and Flash jumping into it real quick. We're okay with, some guy that can phase through things and all kinds of other stuff. But we're not okay with a punch.
We don't question the validity of all this supernatural bullshit that's happening in this show. But all of a sudden, we're both just Oliver would have totally slipped that punch and he should have just made the punch bigger. And then I'm just you fucking nerd with your fucking nerd hair.
We notice it and we laugh at ourselves. But it's fun. It's all in fun. And the episode was fun. Yeah. Like you said, it's good. It was for the fans. This is the thing about
being a nerd. Or we have a fandom of something, right? You love it and you're passionate about it. Right. But you can laugh at yourself. You can laugh at it. It's fucking fun. It's fun and it's hilarious. And this episode was great, right?
Yeah. Phenomenal. Yeah. So anyway,
closing thoughts.
I can't wait for the other ones to come on. I mean, this is exciting. It's just part 1. I can't.
You gotta wait till tomorrow.
Yeah.
And look forward to our Elseworlds Part 2 and Part 3 reviews. They should be coming hopefully as they come out daily. If not, if we have jobs. Shit happens. We have to do adulting. We have to pay the bills. That sucks. But anyway. So thank you. Wait, we're not doing it? We're not done? You're not done? I was ready for the pose. Sorry, go.
Premature pose.
So happens to us all, right, guys?
So like and subscribe to our YouTube channel, please, guys. We're getting So many views on Facebook.
Yeah,
we love it. Thank you so much.
A lot of views.
Please go over to YouTube, check us out there, subscribe, like, even comment. We have comments from people. We like constructive criticism. We like anything, any comments.
Also,
and we'll try to be sure to respond to your comments on there.
Also, anything you want us to talk about. If you want us to make a video on a certain subject or about something you want us to watch and review, things like that, we are more than happy to take recommendations, if you will.
Yeah.
Right?
Oh yeah, for sure.
Okay, are we ready for the post?
We're ready for the post.
I'm ready for it.
Ready.
All right, one. Wait, hang on real quick. Shh. Calm down. Okay, let's bring it up. Ready? Yeah, ready. Thank you for joining us on this episode of the world's greatest news and reviews. As always, if you've enjoyed what you saw, be sure to like and subscribe. Peace.